Well, good evening, everyone. Actually, good morning, everyone. And welcome to a live edition of the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. I'm Bob Pompeani here, and our panelists have been very patient waiting for this start, so we're going to give you a good 30 minutes of analysis, of debate about what happened, mostly today with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is our #1 topic on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. And here to talk to you about that is our panel tonight. We have Jeff Hathhorn, who did play-by-play of the Pitt game today. 93.7 The Fan, who does just about everything. Then he ran over to Acrisure Stadium. He never stops, and he's still here live, looking fresh as a daisy. In the middle is Jason Mackey, does great work with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and Chris Adamski with the Pittsburgh Tribune Review Trib Live. So let's get right into this, Jeff. Start with the offense. First half, really good. I thought the second half was going to be good as well because of what happened right before halftime. They get the ball in the second half, and then we see a series of 3-and-outs. And it's almost as if they weren't executing, but they also were very predictable in some of these play calls, I thought anyway, and it led to a very bad half for not only them, but also their defense, which was on the field quite a bit.
Yeah, let's start with the first half because, man, you come out of that Saints game and you're thinking, all right, maybe this team has found something here. Maybe they've figured out how they can win games. The run game was pretty decent. Even when Jaylen Warren went out, they were able to do some things offensively. And I thought Kenny Pickett was good in that first half. They found George Pickens for a 20-plus yard touchdown, which is a huge deal. Najee Harris makes a play. They have a little 2-minute drill at the end of the first half to get a field goal. And then, man, in the second half, and I want to do this. I don't know if anybody's done this yet. I want to credit the Bengals defense. I think they've made some adjustments that the Steelers couldn't handle. Mm-hmm. I think that's also part of what we saw today.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it, Jeff. I figured you would get there. I mean, you could look at it. They out-schemed Matt Canada. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I mean, the Bengals defense was just very good. And I look at that versus what the Steelers defense did, and $108 million poured into what they have, and it's just nowhere near good enough. And that was one of my big takeaways from today. Like, this defense, this is not an elite defense. You would like it to be. We all want it to be. They have some names that you would think they would be, but the way they performed in a game where you need to limit them in some way just didn't happen. This was not an elite defense today.
I'd say nothing good happens. My dad always told me nothing good happens after midnight, but talking after midnight, I don't know whether to be positive or negative or not, because you could be positive and say that first half, they look like not only a functional NFL offense, like a good NFL, like that could work. I mean, 20 points and a half, that can work. That plays, as they say, especially in this NFL where we saw games 3-3 in the third quarter today, a couple of them going at once. And so maybe that makes it even more frustrating and more search for answers when you see that they're able to do that. Because the second half wasn't too far from what we've seen pretty much every game, right? I mean, we could say how bad the second half was, but it's not really that unexpected considering what you saw against the Eagles, even the Saints to a point. I guess it was a little better against the Saints, but going back to certainly the Buffalo game, the New England, yeah, that's been pretty much more what their offense has been all year.
And guys, I think the reality is you could blame any single person, especially if there's someone you don't like or a group you don't like, but really everybody had a hand in that. I mean, the line made mistakes, Kenny made mistakes, Najee made mistakes, Pickens dropped a touchdown. I mean, there were plays there that everybody could have made.
But let's talk about Pickett, since you brought him up. And Jason, I'll go to you on this one to start. He is a young quarterback, so I always say I'm going to grade him on a curve because it is his first year. He's going through an awful lot right now. I saw a lot of good, I saw a lot of not so good. Where is he right now, and are you convinced that he is the franchise quarterback, as a lot of people want to look ahead so far? To me, it's still a work in progress.
I mean, to me, I don't think we know that. I don't see how we can tell that. You know, in my day job, I deal with Key Brian Hayes, and a lot of people want to make some sort of like assumption about what this kid's going to be in his forever career. And like, we just don't know. He has a lot of growing left to do. Pickett has even more growing left to do. I mean, he hasn't been great, and I'm not surprised by that. He's had too many turnovers. He's forced some throws. He's held on to the ball too long, whatever. I feel like I'm picking on the kid because he's just playing a few games behind a mediocre offensive line, a mediocre team. Let's just wait and see. That's my
But it's like,
it's
so vexing, and there's a word used after midnight. That's a big word. Yes.
I like it.
Adamski does his best work.
That's what people tell me. No, but it's, if you're trying to look at him, like, you want to say, you don't watch Kenny Pickett. You watch these plays, the eye test or play by throw by throw. And actually, maybe he's made more poor throws these past 2 games than he had maybe in the first 4 or 5 combined. But you also saw of his good. Like, I don't feel. But you look at his numbers. His numbers are at the bottom of the league in almost every relevant category: yards per attempt, passer rating, interceptions.
Trubisky actually has better numbers than some.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. So it's hard to sit here and say you can feel really good about your rookie quarterback, because let's face it, that's all that matters now the rest of this season. Okay. This officially pretty much, if they would have won today 4-6, you've been in a game with the Bengals, a game of a playoff spot. Now it's, give up that illusion. It's all about developing Kenny Pickett and finding out what Kenny Pickett is and whether he's going to be your franchise quarterback, and you can believe in that and build around that. That's all these last 7 games are going to be about. You can still feel good if you're a Steeler fan and they're not going to make the playoffs. If Kenny Pickett shows he's a franchise quarterback by January, it's a success, right?
I mean, that's the ideal part of the season, right? Like, you want them to stink, but for Kenny Pickett to just get good enough to entice you.
It's what's vexing. Is that what it was?
Yes, vexing. You like that.
It is what's vexing about Kenny Pickett is because he does make that throw to Pickens that you showed in the highlights.
He got clobbered,
He gets clobbered. He hangs in there, makes a great throw to Pickett. Then there were a couple plays in the second half where he just missed open receivers down the middle. I mean, I think that growing pains comes, and I think the overall thing with the Steelers to me is their margin for error is slim. It was from the beginning of the year. So any little mistake they make, they have a hard time coming back from it because they're not as talented or as experienced as other teams. So that plays into this. And who are his receivers? I mean, George Pickens.
I want to ask that question because I see again today Deontay Johnson for signing the big deal. Chris, he has 0 touchdown passes this year, none. He's dropped some passes, and today 4 catches for 21 yards. At some point, I'm sure he's going to look at this and say, George Pickens has become the number 1 guy, and here I am, signed a new deal. Will it become a problem at all in your estimation?
No 100-yard games yet either, too. It's not even just a touchdown thing. There's a production thing overall, and there is going to be – I just want to know – I mean, we've talked about Chase Claypool's lack of production. At points this season, George Pickens' lack of production. Now Deontay, there's something else missing here. Whether it is Kenny Pickett, whether it is Matt Canada, whether it's the scheme, whether what they're doing, there's not much production there at all. It's crazy. The Bengals' backup running back had more receiving touchdowns today than anybody in the Steelers roster has the whole season. Think about that for a second.
I
mean, that's where we're at right now. And Deontay Johnson, but he got paid like a number 1 receiver, not a high-end number 1 receiver in terms of his salary, where the NFL is right now. But he got paid this offseason, and he's not being paid to get 4 catches for 21 yards in a division game.
What could Deontay Johnson possibly say, Pomp?
I'm just asking you because Chris Oak brought it up on the postgame. He said that's a potential problem. If
I just don't understand what the problem could be. Produce more. He's had opportunities.
Right.
I don't understand what the complaint could be. I mean, I understand what the complaint
just not targeted enough.
But I think that's natural for any receiver. They want to make more plays. And listen, and we're around Deontay. He's never been an issue. He's not throwing fits in practice or being a me guy. In fact, he gets frustrated, but it's because he wants to help. I think as much as anything. Sure, he wants to catch more passes, but he also wants to help. And I think that's where the frustration is. He thinks he can do more to help the team.
Yeah, I just think he doesn't like to lie. He's too honest.
So
when he gets asked questions, yes, it does. It's great, yeah. But it ends up that more conversations like this. I don't think he's a problem right now. I think I don't think so. And I don't think it's going to be a problem.
I don't think he will be, but you can understand a guy who is top-paid guy and he has no stats to back it up. And at some point,
you can
see where that potentially could happen.
He could play better to produce said stats.
Of course he could.
Like that's what I say. People have been saying at different points this season. People said, why isn't the quarterback or the coordinator drawing up plays to get the ball to Chase Claypool? Why aren't they doing it for Pickens? Why aren't they doing it for maybe these guys aren't just getting open?
Yes.
Right? We got to go to a break on that note. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the coaching issues with this team, also defense, and what happened in that second half and adjustments at halftime, both offensively and defensively. The game changed a lot at halftime. We'll talk about it next on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown.
#1 Cochran Sports Showdown is brought to you by #1 Cochran. Go one better.